before the Pintos.
Clearary is up high. They come out of turn number 4. Stutter between the sterns. The fans come to their feet.
Before the tour.
It is Ted Christopher still in command. Keith Rocco right there on his back bumper.
Stage in single file.
Well, it'll be a 1-2 sweep for the state of New York as Tommy Baldwin of Long Island picks up the victory.
Before the asphalt got fancy and the trailers got enclosed, there was the Coupe era.
From 1949 to 1971, NASCAR's modified division was raw, wild, and wide open. These weren't just drivers. They were mechanics, barnstormers, local legends. Some ran for championships. Others just showed up to beat whoever dared unload. We're counting down the greatest short-track warriors from the golden age of chop-top coupes, flathead Fords, and Saturday Night Thunder. From Langhorne to Riverside Park, from Bowman Gray to the beach at Daytona, this is their legacy.
Honorable mentions: NASCAR Modified Coupe Era, 1949 to 1971. Ken Marriott captured the 1957 NASCAR Modified champions driving multiple cars and overcoming injuries. The Baltimore native used a race-anywhere strategy, chasing points from Florida to New Jersey. His gritty, underdog championship exemplified the journeyman racer of the Coupe era. Glenn Guthrie, representing Washington, D.C., took the 1959 Modified Championship through consistent runs along the eastern seaboard. Not a flashy name, but a respected grinder whose title proved that drivers outside the Southern and New England strongholds could succeed. Charles Fuzzy Dyer, New Jersey's first national champ, won the 1950 NASCAR Modified title, beating stars like Curtis Turner during a season of over 70 NASCAR races. Known for consistency more than flash, he helped put the Garden State on the map. Bill Widenhouse from Midland, NC, claimed the 1955 national title with relentless weekly racing. His flathead Ford ruled the Carolinas, and he became a fan favorite for his bold driving and local dominance. Bud Olson racked up 12 wins and 67 top 10s in 90 races to win the 1958 title. A prolific car builder and racer, his 1958 season remains one of the most statistically dominant in modified history. Jack Choquette made Florida his playground after relocating from New Jersey, capturing the 1954 Modified Championship with over 50 feature wins. His intense style earned him the nickname Roughhouse. Joe Weatherly dominated the 1953 season with over 50 wins and unmatched personality. Little Joe was a dynamo, mixing humor with raw speed, and later went on to Cup glory. Fats Caruso, a New England force from 1949 onward, he partnered with Worcester Sand and Gravel to become a regular winner. Stylish and fast, he embodied the post-war boom in modified racing. Max Berrier, two-time champ at Bowman Gray and a mentor to many. His North Carolina legacy is built on speed, consistency, and technical know-how. Pete Corey, Langhorne winner in 1955 who came back from a leg amputation in 1960 to win again. His resilience and success made him a legend in upstate New York. Tallied 200 wins in a 26-year career across the Northeast. A regular at Riverside Park and a respected presence in modified and sportsman circles. George Moose Hewitt, a fan favorite in New England, Moose started out in Waterford's bomber class before rising to modified dominance. Known for his physical style and good-natured demeanor, he won 5 titles at the Speed Bowl and became a mainstay at Stafford. His 1975 victory in the Winston 100 stood as a signature moment. Though his prime came post-Coupe era, his roots in the early cars and his unwavering presence at bull rings make him a worthy inclusion. George Janoski, a dirt track stalwart at Stafford in the late 50s and early 60s, Janoski notched 17 wins there in just 5 seasons. He brought a no-frills approach and a deep understanding of the cars. His consistency earned admiration from competitors and fans alike, even without national headlines. When the champ lived up to the name with 4 straight NASCAR Sportsman titles from 1962 to 1965. With a sharp wit and sharper elbows, he was a barnstormer whose modified pedigree began in the Coupe days. He thrived on the road, racing multiple tracks per week, and helped build the Eastern Bandits legend that reshaped Southern racing. Langhorne winner who also conquered Daytona and Trenton. A master of long-distance racing, he stood tall among modified independents. Wild Bill Slater won the 1965 Langhorne Open and was a household name in New England, known for the famous V8 Coupe and a willingness to race anywhere. Ken Rush, Rookie of the Year in 1957, competed in multiple divisions with versatility, a key figure from High Point, NC, during the transitional years. Jimmy Hensley. From Virginia's Blue Ridge, Hensley had a long career with wins in every NASCAR division, began in modifieds, and never lost touch with his short track roots. Glenn Wood captured 2 Bowman Grade championships and famously drove from the back seat for better weight distribution. Went on to co-found the legendary Wood brothers Bernie Miller. Quietly consistent, Miller was a regular contender in the 1960s modified ranks and known for smart driving and mechanical precision. His performance in the 1969 NASCAR modified standings put him among the elite, and he frequently ran with the best at tracks from Maryland to the Carolinas. Though not as widely celebrated, his peers knew he belonged. Paul Radford, Virginia's Ferrum Flash, won 200-plus races and brought respect to the mid-Atlantic scene. Excelled in coupes and later in late models, proving adaptable and fast. Fontyflock became NASCAR's first official modified champion in 1949. Known for flair, speed, and a checkered suit, he gave the sport much-needed charisma in its formative years. Bill Greco. Few New Englanders raced more or won more at Riverside Park than Greco. From his start in 1951, he built a reputation on clean racing, strong finishes, and track championships at both West Haven and Riverside. His tally of 68 park wins reflects a long, steady excellence, the kind the Coupe era demanded. Greco was known not just for his results, but for his respectful, sportsmanlike demeanor. A driver competitors trusted to race hard but fair. A consistent frontrunner for decades, he became a fixture in the Northeast modified scene, adapting to changing technology while maintaining his competitive edge. His longevity and class made him one of New England's most enduring fan favorites. Top 25 modified drivers, NASCAR Coupe era, 1949 to 1971. Number 25, Red Farmer, a member of NASCAR's Hall of Fame class of 2021, rose to prominence as the 1956 NASCAR Modified National Champion. Beyond that championship, Red Farmer was a powerhouse on southern dirt tracks. He reportedly won over 500 feature races in modifieds and late models over his career, including scores of victories at Montgomery, Birmingham, and Talladega short track. His modified title was somewhat of a springboard. Farmer went on to capture 3 NASCAR late model sportsman national championships in the late 60s, becoming one of the most decorated short track racers in history. Importantly, Farmer's career spanned an incredible 7 decades. He was still racing on dirt into his 80s. During the Coupe era, however, Red Farmer established himself as the South's ultimate short-track Ironman, a driver equally adept on the tight asphalt of Birmingham's 1/4 mile, or the high banks of Daytona's Beach Road course, where he had top finishes in modified sportsman events. His combination of longevity, adaptability, and success makes him a true legend of modified racing. Number 24, Al Tasnady. Al Tasnady, from Manville, New Jersey, was one of the most charismatic and successful modified drivers of the 1950s and 60s, with over 600 career wins to his name. A regular at famed tracks like Flemington, Reading, and Nazareth, he was revered not just for his skill behind the wheel, but for his flair and crowd appeal. Reportedly the first modified driver to have an official fan club. Tasnady was voted the nation's most popular driver in 1963 by the Greater New York Auto Racing Fraternity, reflecting both his competitive presence and magnetic personality. He also competed in several Grand National, now Cup Series races, and ran the Daytona Modified Sportsman events, always drawing attention with his distinctive number 39 coupe. His blend of star power, consistency, and adaptability made him a folk hero in the Northeast and a true ambassador of the coupe era. 20, Pee Wee Jones, a fixture at Bowman Grade during the formative years, Jones was known for his bruising style and no-nonsense approach. Running out of Virginia, he was one of the stadium's first local stars. Though rarely chasing national points, his legacy in the Mid-South remained strong, thanks to 2 decades of pounding the quarter mile. Number 22, Cotton Owens. Everett Cotton Owens from Spartanburg, South Carolina, was perhaps the premier modified driver of the early 1950s, often called the King of the Modifieds. Owens amassed over 200 modified feature wins in his career. In NASCAR's records, Cotton is credited with the 1953 Modified Championship, and some sources also cite him as champion in 1950 and 1954, though officially those years went to others. What is beyond dispute is Cotton's dominance on the track. In 1949, he won 19 of the 23 modified races he entered, and throughout the early 50s, he was virtually unbeatable across the Southeast. He conquered the Daytona Beach Road Course in 1953, winning NASCAR's Modified Sportsman 160-mile race against 136 other cars, a feat that really put him on the map nationally. Owens was a master of both dirt bull rings and the faster big tracks. After transitioning to the Cup Series as a driver and later championship car owner, he still ranks among NASCAR's 50 greatest drivers. But modified fans revere him for the barnstorming days when he'd show up with his nicknamed Purple Penny Coupe or other rides and wipe the field. With his background as a mechanic, Cotton also innovated in the garage. By the time the Coupe era ended, Owens had long since moved on to Cup glory, but his exploits in modifieds, hundreds of wins, and a trio of claimed titles set a standard for excellence. Few could run with Cotton Owens when he was on his game. Frankie Schneider, number 21, the Old Master, won the 1952 championship and logged more than 750 career wins. Dominant across dirt and asphalt in the Northeast, his sheer volume of success is legendary. A true barnstormer, Schneider was known for racing nearly every night of the week and sometimes running and winning in multiple events on the same day. He drove whatever was available and won in it, from coupes to late models to sprints. His adaptability and relentless drive made him the standard by which Northeast modified excellence was measured. Whether on the tight bull rings of New Jersey or the fast clay tracks of Pennsylvania, Schneider always found his way to the front. Number 20, Wally Campbell. Wally Campbell was the 1951 NASCAR Modified National Champion and one of the sport's first prodigies. From Trenton, NJ, Campbell won the title at age 25 and nearly repeated in 52. He finished runner-up in NASCAR's short-lived Speedway division that year. In modifieds, Campbell was a consistent front-runner on the tough Northeast circuit, racing on dirt fairgrounds and paved arenas alike. Tragically, his career and life were cut short. Campbell was killed in a sprint car accident in July 1954, one day after his 28th birthday. During his brief career, he also dabbled in NASCAR's Grand National, Cup Series, and won 5 LA sprint car features in 1953. But it's Campbell's modified exploits that endure. He exemplified the what might have been of early NASCAR. Known for a smooth driving style, he left an indelible impression, and his 1951 championship trophy remains a poignant reminder of a talent taken too soon. Dunan McTavish. Before tragedy struck at Daytona in 1969, the Massachusetts driver was seen as a coming national force. He won the 1966 Sportsman Division Championship and was fearless on the throttle. His hard-charging highline style earned fans up and down the East Coast. Though his full modified career was cut short, he remains one of its most iconic what-could-have-been stories. Back-to-back national championships in 1960 and 1961 tell the story. Roberts was as reliable as he was quick. Based out of Maryland and driving for owners like Tani Slayton, he amassed wins at Westport and other Atlantic Coast tracks. After his 1961 title, he stepped away, leaving behind a legacy of peak performance and few wasted laps. Number 17, Bob Santos. Massachusetts native, Santos made a name in the brutal Northeast scene. A technical driver with patience and poise, he tackled the toughest fields in the country and came out ahead more often than not. His contributions extended to mentoring and wrenching, making him respected far beyond the cockpit. Number 16, Runt Harris. The Fredericksburg, Virginia native embodied grit in every sense. Harris's modest Cup resume amassed a rich modified career full of wins and fierce rivalries on the southern short tracks. Fans loved his fearlessness and car control, especially on worn-out dirt ovals where finesse and guts mattered most. Number 15, Eddie Krauss, claimed 2 modified national championships and did it by mastering both quantity and quality. Krauss raced everywhere, collected checkered flags steadily, and rarely made enemies. His ability to balance aggressive racing with clean finishes marked him as a professional's professional in the Coupe era. Number 14, Curtis Turner. Curtis Turner stormed into the early modified scene like a Virginia thunderstorm, a hard-charging legend whose bold moves and larger-than-life antics captivated fans. In 1950, he racked up 8 victories, dazzling crowds with daring passes and fierce duels against the Flock brothers, clashes that turned into racing folklore. Dubbed the Blonde Blizzard, Turner redefined what a superstar could be: flamboyant, fearless, and fiercely competitive. His wild off-track lifestyle only added to his allure, making him a fan favorite. Though he shifted to Cup racing by the mid-1950s, Turner's legacy remains a cornerstone of the modified division's roots. Number 12, Billy Hensley. From South Boston to Franklin County, Hensley won across Virginia like few others. With more than 200 victories to his credit, he was known for a smooth style and relentless pace. Hensley's dominance in his home state and high-profile wins at NASCAR-sanctioned shows earned him lasting respect across the Southeast. Number 11, Bobby Allison. Before he was a Daytona winner and Cup champion, Allison was a menace in the Coupes. He won consecutive national modified titles in 1964 and 1965 while barnstorming across Alabama, Tennessee, and the Carolinas. Tireless in the shop and fearless behind the wheel, he built his reputation the hard way, night after night, dirt track to dirt track. Even as his career skyrocketed, Allison always credited his roots in the modifieds for shaping his Hall of Fame career. At 10, Bob Potter. Known as a maestro at New London, Waterford, and Stafford, Potter captured multiple championships in both modified and SK divisions. He was a constant threat during the Coupe twilight, winning in cars of every shape and setup. Few drivers could match his adaptability or his smooth, calculated driving style. Fans in Connecticut still recall his mastery of the high line and late race restarts. Number 9, Ernie Gayan. A grinder from Dover, New Hampshire, Gayan began racing in the late 1940s and clawed his way through the ranks, culminating in the 1966 NASCAR Modified Championship. He was a relentless traveler, racing 4 and 5 nights a week, hitting tracks from Maine to the Carolinas. That 66 title was a reward for years of grinding out top 5s in fields packed with legends. Off the track, he earned national recognition for bravery. He helped rescue Marvin Panch from a fiery wreck at Daytona in 1963, receiving the Carnegie Medal. On it, he earned over 300 career wins, including major events at Fonda, Oxford Plains, and Stafford, and was the epitome of the blue-collar racer who defined the Coupe era. Now number 8, Perk Brown. A terror at Bowman Gray and Martinsville, Brown dominated the southern scene in the 1950s and 60s. He won multiple track championships and set records at both bull rings, including 6 wins in 7 NASCAR modified races at Martinsville between 1962 and 1965. He blended old-school grit with mechanical know-how, often outfoxing drivers with faster cars. His win total across the Carolinas is staggering, and his reputation was such that Northern invaders considered him one of the hardest to beat on home turf. Brown's battles with stars like Curtis Turner and Billy Myers helped define the region's fiercest rivalries. Number 7, Leo Clearary. A staple of New England racing for more than 4 decades, Clearary drove and won in nearly everything on wheels. He racked up 300-plus wins and 8 track championships, starring at Seekonk, Norwood, and Thompson. Clearary could drive a coupe, late model, midget, or modified with equal success, and was known for doubling or tripling up on race nights. His versatility and longevity made him a crowd favorite and earned him a reputation as one of the smartest drivers in the pits. By the end of the coupe era, he had already solidified his status as one of the sport's most adaptable and successful veterans. Richie Evans. Though most of his dominance came after the coupe era, the seeds were planted in the late 1960s. The Rapid Roman was already winning regularly by 1970 and showing the raw talent that would lead to 9 national modified championships. He came up racing dirt in upstate New York before transitioning to asphalt, where his smooth, aggressive style began to turn heads. Evans brought professionalism and polish to the class, elevating the profile of the division. Even in the tail end of the Coupe years, there was no doubt he was a future all-time great in the making. Number 5, Ed Flimky. Steady Eddie wasn't just fast. He was the modified division's philosopher and innovator. The Connecticut native never captured a national title, but his technical knowledge and clean, cerebral driving style set him apart. He pioneered the Eastern Bandits, a group of northern invaders who regularly outdueled Southern stars on their own tracks. Flimky won hundreds of races, including Riverside Park, Utica Rome, and Bowman Gray's famed New Year's Day Special, twice. His mechanical contributions, like the Flimka front end, influenced chassis design for decades. More than a winner, he was a teacher and mentor to future greats, including Richie Evans. Number 4, Fred Daro. By the end of the Coupe era, Daro had become the Northeast's next big star. The Rhode Island driver won the 1970 NASCAR Modified National Championship in the Cosilla number 15 Woodchopper Coupe, beating a stacked field with raw speed and consistency. He later took over the famed Old Blue number 3 and claimed Thompson Speedway titles and the inaugural Spring Sizzler in 1972, famously the last one ever won in a coupe-bodied modified. Daro's quiet confidence, smooth throttle control, and relentlessness made him the complete package. His blend of sportsmanship and intensity was rare, and his early 70s dominance came as the division transitioned to modern machinery. Number 3, Jerry Cook. The 1971 Modified National Championship marked Cook's breakthrough after years of near misses. That title, won with a mix of coupe and early pinto-bodied cars, was the first of 6 national crowns. Cook ran a staggering number of races each season, building his success on durability, preparation, and uncanny consistency. His rivalry with fellow Rome, New York native Richie Evans became the stuff of legend as the two battled from New England to North Carolina. Cook was a master strategist who knew how to collect points and avoid trouble. His calculated approach helped define the national points chase format and earned him Hall of Fame honors. Number 2, Bugs Stevens. Carl Bugs. Stevens claimed 3 straight modified national championships from 1967 to 1969, an unmatched feat in the coupe era. Teamed with owner Lenny Bowler in the famed Old Blue number 3 coupe, Stevens was equal parts showman and tactician. His 1968 campaign included 19 feature wins on the NASCAR trail. He claimed titles at Thompson, Stafford, and numerous other Northeast tracks. Whether thrilling crowds at Martinsville or banging doors on bull rings across the East, Bugs delivered with style. With his magnetic personality, mechanical understanding, and hunger to win, Stevens was modified racing's defining star of the late 60s. Number 1, Ray Hendrick. No one personified the barnstorming, run-anywhere spirit of the coupe era more than Mr. Modified. Hendrick, out of Richmond, Virginia, amassed over 700 wins, many of them in the Tant Mitchell red and white Flying 11. He won the Langhorne National Open, conquered Martinsville 20 times, and was nearly unbeatable at South Boston. Hendrick preferred chasing big money shows and local glory over national points, but still placed in the top 10 of the standings 9 times. He was smooth, fearless, and mechanical enough to set up his own winning rides. Fans from Florida to Connecticut saw him roll into town and beat the locals, often running 5 or 6 nights a week. In the coupe era, no one matched his combination of longevity, versatility, and sheer dominance.